All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. I'm the immortal Bobby Melendez, joined always by the Kimmelnator, Josh Kimmel. Kimmel, how you doing, brother? Oh, muted. Oh, it looks like his sound just popped off. We were just talking, so I'll wait for him to come on. Nope, muted, man. Soon as we went live, he got muted. But that's okay. We'll wait for him to adjust that. Everyone, thank you all for tuning in, whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, or listening on Spotify, or watching us on the Go Live Sportscast, which should be tomorrow, Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But a lot to talk about, a lot of fun stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling. Of course, Double or Nothing just occurred last weekend. SmackDown yesterday, AJ Styles teasing retirement. Looks like we might have Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles part 2. Adam Copeland out for, 6 to 8 months after a spot off the cage. MJF finally returns. You got the Owen Hart Cup that was just announced. And is it a little bit of King and Queen of the Ring copycats? We'll talk about that. Becky Lynch is a free agent. You're still muted, my friend. You're still muted. He's talking trash right now. Can you hear me though? Josh, can you hear me? You can. Okay. You just can't. I can't hear you. And I assume no one else could hear you. I hope it's not me. Hulkamania going to be running wild. For life, brother. For life, Josh. He'll back out. He'll come back in and see if that can work. Always fun when you're going live. That happens. We got to talk about Uncle Howdy. The teases continue. Want to touch on that. And then Jordynne Grace, Ethan Page, both showing up on NXT. But the bigger story for me was Jordynne Grace ending up, that's the TNA Knockouts champion, ending up on NXT TV, WWE TV. Josh and audio issues. What? I know. Left me high and dry. What a tag team partner. That's all good. But want to talk about Jordynne Grace, not just because of the impact that she has coming to NXT and what type of match she could have with Roxanne Perez, but what this can mean for the partnership between WWE and NXT. I'll get Josh back in here, and we'll wait for him to say something, see if he's back.
Am I unmuted
There it is.
yet? You guys try to hold me back. I am the voice of the voiceless. I am the hero of the show, or the villain. Which way
I was about to go on a whole Mercedes Moné tyrant while you weren't here, and then you just came back right on time to save her.
Insane.
Man,
what happened? I think the powers to be over at No Holds Barred or Finn's Talk, they want to mute me. They don't want.
Ain't nobody want to hear all that. No, ain't nobody want to hear all. No, just playing. But dude, let's discuss Double or Nothing. I know I saw clips. I followed up. You watched it. You reacted to it. Overall, just on the show itself, before we go specifics on matches, what did you think of the pay-per-view?
No matter how much no story there are heading into an AEW pay-per-view, no matter how much nothing makes sense or just thrown together like a crazy person in universe mode, man, the shows always deliver. It was an excellent show, entertaining from, first match to the very last match. Only one snoozer I could think of, like one nonsense match, but man, it was an excellent show. Tony Khan just delivers. The wrestlers can wrestle. People were getting dropped on their heads. People were getting thrown into trash cans. It was a train wreck, yet poetry and motion at the same time. It was magnificent. Spectacular.
Yeah, I did catch some of the Mercedes Moné match where she won the TBS championship. And obviously, we know what she can do. The mic is questionable, but when she straps on those boots and she steps in that ring, one of the best out there, she looked really good. They had a great match. And I know you're huge on her opponent. And it looks like they're going somewhere else. She's going to be feuding with whoever beat the hell out of her on the steps there.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Whoever that was to me, And full disclosure, everybody, I'm not an AEW person, and I'm starting to watch it for my buddy Josh, and obviously for the sake of the show, he's the AEW guy, so he'll tell me who it was and tell me how important that is. They went for I think 18 minutes. Yeah, 18 minutes. Willow was the one she fought for the TBS title. Dude, and you weren't kidding. Team AEW versus the Elite. 30 minutes that match went on.
Yeah.
30 minutes. And that I saw most, but not most of. Obviously, I didn't see 30 minutes, but I did see a lot of the important parts of that match following up on it. What the what? I don't want to say it on here. Like,
okay, listen. If you've seen an Anarchy in the Arena match before, is this your first experience watching an Anarchy in the Arena match?
Yeah.
So I can't explain it to the the real person, like the regular straight-headed smart person. Only the AEW neckbeards can understand the concept of this. It's just
Okay.
it's just honestly it's a 4 versus 4 match. It's just think of it, guys, as a War Games match with no cage and no rules and no weapons, but you only win by a pinfall, and it has to be in the ring. But there's no disqualification. That's all it is. These matches are always just okay. They start out in a big brawl, and then one person will wrestle one person and walk throughout the backstage. One person will wrestle this person over here, and then it's a backstage. So if you're live in person, it's an awful match because you're mostly just watching the monitor or the Titantrons. But when you're watching it at home, it's entertaining because it's spot, backflip. Someone's getting hit by a car. Somebody's getting hit by a golf cart. Somebody's getting hit in the face with some tacks. It's just nonstop nonsense. Someone's getting set on fire.
I saw that. I'm like, okay, we're going there. Okay.
That's not the first person to ever be get caught set on fire, by the way, in AEW history. You know who that is?
Who's that?
They're both working for the other company right now. It was Andrade versus Cody Rhodes. Brandy set the table on fire. Cody and superplex Andrade through the table, and they both got caught on fire.
Okay. Yeah, but that spot was crazy. That spot there where oh goodness, this dude
Darby Allin,
the Sting's tag team partner, who just got hit by a bus and is wrestling for some reason,
and has a broken ankle or a fractured ankle.
Yeah, and he got kicked in the face with thumbtacks. I started laughing when I saw that. Oh, dude, when I saw the shoes, I'm like, "Are you kidding me, bro?" Oh my
yeah,
God.
so that's the thing. That's a gimmick of theirs. They always do that in these special matches.
Okay.
And those are their shoes, by the way, which I went to Champ Sports to go buy them yesterday.
3,000 shoes they sold, right? Is that how many shoes?
They sold a ton of shoes, and they had. I'll tell you this.
Sold out.
Yeah, I was at Champ Sports about a week ago, or when they came out, the day after. I went to try them on. I'm like, man, these things are tight. I'm gonna go get them, but let me wait till payday happens, right?
Uh-oh.
And then exactly. So then I got paid on Wednesday. I look at the app. I'm like, oh, cool. They got my size still at Champs at my mall, like 5 minutes down the road. I wait. I'm like, I'm not going to go today. I'm busy. It's OUS is Wednesday night. AEW is Wednesday night. Like I got a lot of things going on. Went Thursday, sold out. Very upsetting. So now I got to buy them secondary. But yeah, that's their gimmick. They always put the tax on the shoe, but it's usually Matt Jackson only. This time they both did it.
You see, that tells me, when for a team like the Young Bucks, which is international, they're an international team. They AEW didn't just start. It's a few years old, right?
5.
But 5 years now, which is, it's still a young organization. But this is an international tag team. When you say the Hardys, and most people know who the Hardys were,
yes,
or the Dudley Boys, or whatever. You just throw in APA. You just think of any because they were here in the United States. The average fan, whomever, are going to know those guys. You think of the Young Bucks, you go, oh, the Young Bucks. Unless you're following international, New Japan, and whatnot, you're not really going to know who the Young Bucks are. For them, 5 years later, to be able to sell those shoes as much as they did, and for the amount that they did, because I think you showed me the amount, it was like $200, $300. Is that right?
No, the shoes are $130.
Okay,
retail, but they're going for like $500 secondary now.
Secondary, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But to be able to sell out, that tells you how popular those guys are, and the potential of what AEW could be. Which is crazy because AEW was red hot when it first started. Everybody wanted to jump on that ship. I mean, the fans, the whatever, and it started to take a back seat. I don't have it. I don't think I have it here. But it was you that sent me with the quote on Tony Khan, how he is right now and how many changes there were. I think before the pay-per-view, or the was it the pay-per-view that was changed, that he was updating it out?
Yeah. Yep.
Which again, I told you, dude, that's McMahon. That's old man McMahon before he became old man McMahon. That's VKM before he became old man McMahon. You got to get out of your own way. If you, again, you're saying if you don't like stories, but you love matches, you just want to see a show like that type, watch AEW. If you found somebody that could actually put all of that together and put that company would blow up equal to or right past what WWE is. And WWE is on fire, even though it's going through a hangover period. So just the shoes alone tells you that AEW could be just as big. Not toxic, and we're Dolphin fans, the Tua type of toxicity amongst fans, where if you're not a Tua fan, you're not a Dolphins fan. If you're a Tua fan, you're you got these people that go back and forth. That's how it is to be a pro wrestling fan right now. Or you're an AEW fan, well, you're not a real fan. You're a WWE fan, or you're a casual fan. Just can't enjoy wrestling, and I think AEW has such an opportunity with the talent that they have, because they do have great talent, maybe the greatest. I think it was a great point I was listening to, and you got me listening to this guy. I try to catch here and there on my lunch breaks and stuff. JD New York?
Yeah.
I believe it was him. It was the guy he was with. I don't know the guy's name. But they were talking about how, Tony Khan's basically taking everybody from New Japan. New Japan doesn't really have anybody left. And it's kind of true. It's like, dude, you don't need to have everybody. You don't need to do it. It has less meaning, But if you leave a guy over there and then all of a sudden he shows up on TV, it's gonna be a lot better. You have it now with you were predicting that John Moxley was gonna drop the New Japan World title, and he didn't. He kept it, right? He retained the title.
Well, no. I not this show. I think he's gonna drop it at Forbidden Door.
Oh, Forbidden Door. That's right.
Yeah, because the match at Double or Nothing was an eliminator match, which was you got to beat the champ to. It's a dumb match. It's a dumb concept. It's the number one contender match, so the title wasn't even on the line at Double or Nothing. It was an eliminator match. WWE used to do them as well. Remember number one contender matches where you have to beat the champion, but they called it something way different. Vince was doing it too. They were both doing it.
Is it like beat the clock?
No, not beat the clock. Like you have to. So if you want to, if Seth Rollins is your champion, you must beat Seth Rollins in a qualifying match. And if you pin the champion, then you get your title shot. Okay. Vince was doing that for the longest time. Now Tony's doing it. Okay. It's stupid. It honestly is. It makes no sense.
So let me ask you this: for you watch the entire show. What was your favorite match?
Okay. I'm gonna say this: the best moment of the show was clearly the return of MJF. That in the way they brought him back, and the promo he cut, and the attire he wore, cosplaying as Triple H.
Yeah, I was gonna say Triple H Jr.
And then so Tony does a brilliant job of putting a card together. He opens the show with Ospreay and Roddy Strong, which are two guys that can go, and then that gets you hyped up, like ready for the show. Let's go. This is going to be awesome. Then out of nowhere, you get Adam Cole. As soon as Adam Cole comes out, you know what's coming next. We all knew MJF was coming out as soon as we heard Adam Cole's music. That hyped us up even more. So it was hard to go down. Like, you're so high, you can't go down. It's impossible because of, we just saw, one, your biggest babyface, Will Ospreay, and your most over talent, win a championship, his first AEW championship. Right after that, you have the face. You were talking Mount Rushmores on Twitter. You have the Mount Rushmore of AEW in MJF returning. So it's hard for me to say anything was better than that right there. But if you're going match alone, just from what I thought was a banger back and forth, and I know people are going to say, Josh, you're a homer. Josh, you're just picking this because you like her. No, it was Mercedes Moné. I think for two reasons. First off, it was entertaining. There was no gimmicks. There was no tables. There was no tax. There was no dice. There was no, it was a regular.
Willow held their own, dude. Willow looked really good too, for sure.
Yes, it was a regular wrestling match. And it came with Mercedes winning. The finish was a flop because her finish sucks. I'll just say it right here. It's ineffective. It's so sloppy. It's hard to do. It's hard to pull off. I'm not aware if you know what her finisher is. It's not something that Mercedes should be doing. She should go back to the bank statement or something similar to that. But it proves she could still go and she can still do it. And she still is, in my opinion, the best women's worker in the world. And she's proving it. And she had another banger on Dynamite. She is by far the best women's wrestler, not only in that company, but in the entire world.
You're just gonna start that again, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's
Like,
just
you could, you know, I was riding with you the whole time until you just had to throw in the world.
people
Like-
people were doubting her. You know what that was? And Dolphins fans can understand this. That was a nod to a moment. She actually showed up. She showed up and she was a banger. She put on bangers. And I'm a Tua guy, by the way, guys, if you're watching. But I even know he doesn't show up in big games. But anyway, I mean, I'm still a guy. I love him. Hey, I have my own faults, you know. But yeah, well, so let me ask you, back to you. This whole Double or Nothing. I know you didn't order the pay-per-view, but from what you saw, what do you think? Like, from what clip? From the fire to the dice spot with Chris Jericho, the triple threat Chris Jericho match, with Will Ospreay getting knocked on his back of his head, almost decapitating himself or breaking his neck. Show was nuts. What was your favorite part? Adam Copeland.
I thought Gangrel showing up was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was a cool spot. You know, it sucks that you don't get to see the follow through on that. You know, Edge coming off the top and probably not listening to what his body was saying. He wanted to do a cool spot for the crowd and for the moment. You know, and that was awesome to see it, but also sucked at the same time because what happened after. Because you just probably lost a lot of good potential dream matches that you would have saw with Adam Copeland, Edge. You know, and that's always what I'll call him. That was cool. Again, I have to say Mercedes Moné and one of the best, not one of the best women's professional wrestlers out there. Absolutely. Right. What she was able to do, and we all knew, you know, we talk about the mic, you know, it's which is crazy, you know, and I don't know if WWE protected her because I don't remember her being that, you know.
Oh, she was
awkward.
bad. She was
you
bad.
know, I just don't ever remember going, because there's guys you listen to and you're kind of like, dude, you shouldn't be on the mic.
For example, Carmelo Hayes, he's a terrible Ricochet, terrible, right? Like but they're awesome in the ring.
Yeah, every time I listen to Carmelo Hayes, you know, he is him. I always go, ooh. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you know, I just heard, I was just finishing up SmackDown not too long ago as I'm here butchering my closet. And he goes to LA Knight, who's one of the awesome guys to listen to. He's just fun. LA Knight gets you hyped just listening to him. And also Carmelo comes in and he's like, he is him. I'm like, the hell are you talking about, bro? It's like, dude, but you're right. They're amazing in the ring. But see, there's a difference though. Mercedes Moné, she's amazing in the ring, but she is a ring technician. You know, she knows, you know, my thing is, we talk about stories, and I tell you what, you know, I love storytelling, you know, and yes, feuds, I mean that in feuds as well. Absolutely. The match has to mean something to me, but it also means, like, if you throw Mercedes Moné against Toni Storm, just a random match, right? And there's no story going into it, I could still watch that. I could still enjoy that match because I don't know much about Toni Storm, but I know Mercedes Moné is going to tell the story while that match is going on. You know, working the leg, going around the corner, you know, putting up a really good match. It's just not a bunch of flips and here and there and there and there and there. Mm-hmm. That's something Ricochet, who is soon to be a free agent, we'll see if he gets extended or not. Something Ricochet has gotten better at. Ricochet has high spots, but he doesn't do everything all at once. And that's not what Mercedes Moné does compared to some other people. So seeing some of the stuff, what you have something to say?
Just to say the entire AEW roster, because none of them know.
Dude, you know, and I don't know. I think it was you. I don't know if I sent it to you. It was a while back. You may not remember, but it was or maybe you brought it up and I saw it. I don't know. It was on Twitter. But I saw this thing and I was forgetting who it was. I think it was Ricochet, like a young Ricochet and something. And they started the match and it was just a bunch of, they started and all of a sudden they just run back and forth from the ropes, jumping over each other, doing this, and then they stopped and looked at each other. And the crowd went wild. And I'm kind of like, it was a crowd in the gymnasium, by the way. You know, it was a high school gym. I would have went, what is this? Like,
you need to watch.
I didn't see Circus Olay. I want to see wrestling. I want to see, you know,
what you need to go watch Orange Cassidy indie matches in front of like 300 people. He's just doing that gimmick, and you're like, who's this for? Who's this for?
It's just the high spots. You know, I love listening to shoot interviews. I love listening to, like, you know, I've listened to Shawn Michaels like right after he retired, before he came back. You know, it's like he was still in his, you know, dark space, but he was such a great interview listening to him. I love listening like Scott Hall.
Yeah, Scott Hall's great.
Dude, just listen to those guys talk, and because I love listening to the psychiatry of it, you know. And I who was it? I think it was Shawn Michaels who was like talking about, like, you know, it was Kurt Hennig who had told him. I think Kurt Hennig told Scott Hall.
What's his name?
Who? Kurt Hennig?
Kurt Hennig?
Yeah, Hennig. You know, Mr.
How do you spell it? How do you spell it?
Henning.
Oh, the Mandela effect.
What happened?
So, okay, and first I want to apologize, everyone. I lost power recently in my house.
Okay.
Like, what I mean by recently, I mean like 20 minutes before the show, my breaker kept on like. So I was freaking out, Bobby. So that's why I don't have perfect lighting, guys. I'm not joining the Judgment Day. I'm not part of the House of Black. And I'm not Uncle Howdy. It's just I lost power 20 minutes before the show. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, Mandela effect. You know what the Mandela effect is? Are you aware of this Mandela effect?
It sounds familiar. Is it like Nelson Mandela died and they think he died?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But enlighten me.
So these things happen. So Fruit Loops used to be spelled a certain way, but no, it's not spelled that way anymore. There's a lot of examples. Kurt Hennig is one of them. I grew up with him, Kurt Hennig, just exactly how you spell it. That's how I remember him. Mm-hmm. But if you look it up, it's Kurt Hennig. Hennig. That's his real name in this universe, in the universe we're in now.
Wait, is that his real name, or
no,
is that's not his stage name?
No, that was his stage name. Look it up right now.
Nah,
Google it. Yeah, dude, this freaked me out too when I heard it, because I'm like, it's Kurt Hennig.
There's no way, because
it's Kurt Hennig, and I still to this day will spell his name the way I will still to this day spell his way the way I know it in the universe we used to live in. But something changed. Mandela effect. It's real.
Hennig.
And see, something minor changes when we change the universe.
That's weird, path. Dude. That is weird. No, see, it's Kurt Hennig.
I know. I know it's Kurt Hennig. Redneck, I love country music. Remember that gimmick when they were the West Texas?
Yeah, dude. Redneck? He was one of my favorites.
Yes, me too.
That's him in the ring, right? That's a professional wrestler. That's a dude, when he came in the ring, like he wasn't, you know, a character like Hogan or Sting or Flair. I'm talking about outside character who could take a mic and get you The Rock, whatever. But when he came into the ring, he was one who could tell you a story in the ring, working the leg, working an injury, you know. And that was one of my things with talking about the shoot interview, was listening to like a Scott Hall who would tell the story of how Kurt Hennig would say, don't do everything all at once. Don't do your top spots at the beginning, because then you're not going to have anything to finish with. And I live by that. And that it is true. You know, yeah, you can put a couple things here, but like, don't do it right away, because then what's that going to mean later in the match? How, you know, when you go to do the 450 splash off the top, it's like, but you did it in the beginning and he kicked out. Why is he not kicking out now? Like, what's the difference? You know, so those are the type of things that. But the MJF thing was really cool to see. You know, I didn't follow AEW. I am pushing myself to more, but MJF transcended AEW. Everybody knows who MJF is. That dude has made a name for himself outside of it. You know, like when it was close to being a free agent, we're all going, okay, he needs to come to the WWE, or he needs to, you know, where is he going to go? It's not like, you know, these other guys become free agents. You're like, okay, I could live without. I didn't watch him before. I'm not gonna watch him now. But you knew about MJF. You watched his press conferences. You saw him hanging out with fans. Not hanging out, but I mean, like when he's doing these signings and he's telling a kid to shut up and calling him stupid and and saying you're adopted. And it's like, dude, this is the real deal. I love this guy. I'm a fan of this guy. So when he came back with the Triple H gimmick or the attire, I thought that was obviously that was on purpose. It reminded me of Cody Rhodes when Cody Rhodes destroyed the chair. It got everybody's attention. That was a cool spot. I think that's cool. I think that's going to make people more interested because everybody wants to see MJF. Obviously he wants to finish the story with, no pun intended, with Adam Cole.
It's finished, squashed.
Is it done? Is it done? Because he's injured, isn't he? Adam Cole's hurt.
He's still hurt, and
they're not going to no payoff, no match, no nothing.
There's gonna be no payoff, no nothing.
How are you sure?
That was the payoff. When MJF threw the mask in the crowd, and he says he's tired of the comedy, he's not doing no more kangaroo kicks, no more of this devil mask, and he threw it away. That right there, I've watched AEW long enough to know when a story is over, it's over.
All right, it's over. So what do you think? Let me ask you that. What do you think's next for him? What do you think he does next? Does he go after Swerve?
The world title. Goes for the world title against Will Ospreay and All In. He has to, if he's cleared and if he can go.
That will push Will Ospreay to the next level.
But here's the thing. And it sucks for Swerve because Swerve, we all wanted him to be where he is now.
I know how high you are on him and we're on him, especially after he won.
He's a mid-carder. Bobby, I admitted this on Real Talk Wrestling. I'll admit it here. I was getting tired at the very end of All In, and there was 3 matches left. The Mercedes match, Swerve match, Anarchy match. When Mercedes came out first, because they were saying the triple main event starting now, it was Mercedes. Mm-hmm. I knew for a fact that the Swerve match was going to be in the middle. So in my mind, when that bell rang for the Mercedes match, in my mind going, I'm going to watch this 20-minute match, and then I'm going to take a nap, and then we'll wake up for Anarchy in the arena. Because of the fact, and to this day, everyone watching, I did not watch that match because 1, it's too predictable. We knew Swerve was going to win anyway. 2, Tony Khan's obsessed with going past midnight on every pay-per-view and having 20 matches. I am tired. We are tired. So we had, in 3, I really wanted to watch the Anarchy match more than the Swerve title match. That shouldn't be the way it is.
Yeah, no, I don't. There should be very few occasions, is my opinion alone, that the world title is not on the main event. The World Heavyweight Championship needs to be on the main event. Very rare should it ever not be. I don't know. I'll just say, obviously, okay, Sting's retirement. I don't know when it finished, what part of the card it went on.
Main event.
That should be the main event. Sting's retirement, main event. That is fair. You think of WrestleMania 18. Their main event was Triple H versus Chris Jericho for the undisputed title. There is no way in hell that match should have been the main event. It should have been Hogan Rock. That's what I mean. When those matches should be the main event. But in every other instance, the world title should be, because even if if your champion is a stepping stool, you have those in between champions. There's okay, we're going to, you think of Dolph Ziggler, you think of, and I'm going WWE right now, but Ziggler, who is amazing, he's good on the mic too. He's fun. I mean, WWE just wasted him, and it's crazy to say he wasted him because they made him a champion and all this, but they could have done a lot with him more than what they've done. And I still love when I find him, whatever it's on TNA or whatever, I will stop what I'm doing and watch it. He's a fun guy to watch in the ring. He's great on the mic. He's awesome. He's believable. But again, when he was the world champion, you think of when he cashed in Money in the Bank, he was a stepping stool.
Yep.
He lost it right away. I think he beat out Alberto Del Rio. Trying to think, Jack Swagger.
Oh yeah, Jack Swagger, huge.
Again, so much potential, so much is there, but they didn't see it in him. He was a stepping stool. He wasn't going to be the world champion.
As recent as The Miz, when Miz took it off of Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, The Miz. That's another one. And Miz is one of the greats. I mean, I don't care what anybody says.
Yep,
Miz is
Hall of Famer.
Dude, he's one of the best. And he's one of the longest lasting guys, Hall
of Famer.
Yeah, 100% respect. So, what sucks for Swerve is that's what he is. And what sucks is, as a fan, someone like you, for instance, because you're following it, and I'm just getting into it, but a fan should, I don't think they should do a lot better to make a fan not know when the title's going to drop. Like you fully expect he's going to drop it to Will Ospreay.
Right.
That's, instead of going,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know which way they're going to go. They're making Swerve look strong. He's a believable champion. He's had some great matches. They haven't done that. It's obvious he's a stepping stone champion. They got Ospreay. He's the, you think Mercedes Moné is, but it's really Ospreay because everybody's tried to get Ospreay to come to the United States. They've all tried to do it. Tony Khan did it. They got him. And so they're gonna want to anoint him as the next guy, which kind of sucks for Swerve. And hopefully Swerve takes this opportunity to really hopefully reinvent himself after the belt is over. Maybe go back to being a heel, as you said he should be. And who knows? Maybe his future is outside of AEW and he blows it up even more. Maybe I don't know.
I have something to add to this whole championship top guy situation conversation. Because if you hold the title, you should be deemed as a top guy. But in reality, on your mind, as an outsider who doesn't watch, because there's a big disparity between the outsiders and the insiders view, a perspective of their top guys.
And outsiders and insiders, you're talking about people who watch AEW and people who don't really watch AEW.
Exactly. The people who see it on Twitter, they see a clip or two, they see Tony Khan once in a while, whatever. So in your eyes, how many real top guys? And I'm thinking they're going to go to Channel 13 News to promote this show coming up. You send Bianca Belair, you send Roman Reigns, right? How many of those guys do they really have in AEW? Because we think Swerve is top guy material, but is he really that marketable? And on top of that, you also have Adam Page, who people think he's a top guy. Is he really that marketable to the casual wrestling
That's
fan?
a fair point. You're absolutely right. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish your point.
Yeah. So in reality, if you really break it down and look at the marketability of the pro wrestlers that they have, it's Bryan Danielson, it's Mercedes Moné. You could probably throw in Saraya Page because of her name value. Yeah. Chris Jericho, right? MJF's at that point. But other than that, I'm struggling to find a top guy. Will Ospreay could be that. What I'm getting to is Will Ospreay has the opportunity where he's young enough, good enough, really good on the mic, really good in the ring, good looking guy, has everything, the charisma. He could be the top guy. And I'm so sorry, Swerve. We tried it. It didn't work. Not because of Swerve. Swerve did everything he was asked to do.
Yeah.
It's because of the poor booking. Because guess what? Tony Khan's just like my 6-year-old kid. I bought him this Transformer. 3 days ago. And guess what? He wanted a new toy. And guess what? He doesn't play with this anymore already.
My daughter was really into I have a similar thing. My daughter, when she a few years ago was, obviously, and she still is, but she was really into wrestling, getting into wrestling. I was playing WWE 2K with her, and her favorite was Andre the Giant. That because obviously Audrey and Andre, but he was the Giant, and she loved beating me up with Andre and all this one, Lesnar's next one. But I ended up getting her this, and I'm frozen. Well, that's fun.
You're frozen.
I'll fix that and I'll show that. But anyway, same point is I got her this cool Andre the Giant bobblehead, and he's a cool thing, but I found it about to fall off her TV in the back, totally dusty. And I'm like cleaning her bedroom and I'm going, dude, I'm taking this. I'm done with this. But very quick, I'm going to fix this. Yeah, I think you made a great point and maybe follow through with that, with who is the most marketable, Chris Jericho, because you put the Young Bucks, let's say Young Bucks, Tony Khan, Will Ospreay, and
Mercedes.
Let's go let's say Tony Storm. You put them on Good Morning America. Is anybody gonna know who the hell it is? Is that gonna make people go on or no? You're gonna have to put in that Jericho. You're gonna have to put in that Mercedes Moné. Those, because guess what? They came from the big house. People know who they are, So discuss that. How could that change? Who out besides those people can actually? How could AEW change that? And while you're saying that, and you could go into any other topic before I come back. I'm gonna fix this. So go.
Yeah, no worries. So how can they get guys on the market? How can they get guys into people's eyes? The first thing you need to do, Tony, if you're listening, which I know you are, you need to stop with the nonsense. We need to keep viewership. It happens every single week. You come in with a big number right off the top, 8 o'clock on Wednesday Night Dynamite. Boom. And then it just falls from there, free falling. Nobody looks at that. They look at Dynamite had 702,000 viewers this week. That's pretty good. Well, let's look at how many people they retained. Listen, this YouTube channel, this YouTube show, multiple YouTube shows, you could have 1,000 views on that show. But if you're only keeping retention for 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and sponsorships will look at that and they'll go, these guys aren't keeping nobody. Nobody's watching them. They might click, but no one's watching them. So you need to keep the stories. You need to book the shows well. If you don't book the shows, no one's going to watch, and no one's going to know who Will Ospreay is. No one's going to know who Adam Page is, because no one's keeping attention. No one's paying attention to your nonsense. It's hard to figure out. Well, Bryan Danielson's wrestling this guy tonight, and he's feuding with Don Callis, but he's also feuding with the Young Bucks over here for Team AEW. But then he's also feuding with Claudio because they don't like the way Claudio's been acting lately in the BCC. So Bryan's in 3 different feuds. And me, I'm thinking, what are we doing? Who's he addressing when he's in the ring? Are we on feud A, feud B, or feud C? So nobody's paying attention. How could you pay attention to a show and know what's going on when the wrestlers don't even know what's going on? So that's a big problem. Just keeping people on the television watching. I watched SmackDown right before this show, actually, maybe about an hour before. The whole show had a storyline. The storyline was AJ Styles and his announcement. We all knew what the story was. There were sub stories. Kevin Owens and his business with the bloodline, right? We had Bayley and Piper Niven and that whole story with Nia Jax, not Nyla Rose. With Dynamite, it's in AEW in a whole. It's just we're throwing paint at the wall and we're calling it abstract. That's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to watch, Bobby. Like, even for me, and I've been watching it for 5 years.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, another on a big announcement, and it seems like Tony Khan loves making announcements, but it was the Owen Hart Cup. And he announced, first off, fill me in on the history of the Owen Hart Cup.
Owen Hart Cup has been around for 2 years. It's a tournament held in the summer. Dr. Martha Hart, endorses it. She's on TV. She wants nothing to do with WWE, of course, as we all know. But Tony Khan was, and she reached out to Tony Khan, and they made a whole tournament, honoring Owen. So far, it's meant nothing. It's meant we're going to honor Owen Hart. The person that wears pink in the main match wins the cup usually. The winner first year was Adam Cole. In the women's side, it was Britt Baker. Nothing happened, right? They won it. They had a pink belt. They moved on. Second year last year, Ricky Starks won it. He's no longer on TV. No one knows where he is. And Willow won it. And Willow obviously is doing big things now. So their hit rate on the winners have been about 25% because only one person's actually excelled since. But now they make it important. And I know what you're going to say. They're copying WWE or blah, 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 blah. Possibly. But guess what? Now we're having TNA going into NXT and invading. Who's been doing Forbidden Door for the past 4 years? Who did Triple H call out and say, "Oh, we don't do no Forbidden Door stuff over here"? But now they are. So both companies can take from each other. We could watch a show. It's not even wrestling related, Bobby. If we can go, "Oh wow, I like that segment. How can I take that and make it my own twist?" That's okay. People can do that all the time. It happens in the NFL. Oh, the Wildcat. Okay, now Carolina's going to try it. Now they're going to try it. Now San Francisco is going to try it. If it works, it works. So why not have this? We saw the success. When you see a success of a tournament like King of the Ring work, he'd be stupid not to do something similar.
Well, and that's fair. And I will say too, like you just said, the past 2 years of Owen Hart Cup has, it really doesn't mean much. It might mean something to the wrestler because maybe it gives them a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a push, but it really hasn't done anything or mean something to a fan. Now it kind of does. That's what the King of the Ring used to be very important back in the day. I mean, when you won that King of the Ring, you were going to do things. You think of King Booker, even though Booker T was already way weird, but when he became King Booker, that was a huge push, and he reinvented himself. You think Steve Austin, the famous story, Triple H was supposed to win the King of the Ring, but he had the Madison Square Garden thing with the click, and then he got punished and he didn't do it, and they gave it to Austin, and Austin is 316, and now obviously Austin's maybe one, if not the greatest of all time amongst a lot of fans, among most of them. But it really has been nothing. It meant nothing lately. It's been a pay-per-view, just like Money in the Bank, Hell in the Cell. It's meant nothing now. It doesn't mean when you hear, I'll take you on in Hell in a Cell, or your next match is a Hell in a Cell. It doesn't mean anymore. You go, oh, Hell in a Cell. Right. It doesn't mean that anymore, because it's just like, yeah, okay. All you guys do is wrestle in the ring, hit against the cage, and that's it. It's not the same. It's not Rikishi getting chokeslammed off the cage into a truck. It's not Mick Foley getting thrown through the cage or off the obviously you don't want to kill anybody or continue to do those risks. But still though, even after that fact, when they stopped kind of going that route, it still meant something, because again, it was that special appearance. It was that special occasion. Money in the Bank. It meant something. You were looking forward to that next Money in the Bank. But now there's a pay-per-view, and it's like tables, ladders, and chairs every WrestleMania with the Dudleys and Matt Hart, not every husband, but Edge and Christian. Those meant something. Those were fun.
Yep.
Now they got tables, ladders, and chairs.
Not anymore.
Steps. You know what I mean? But it's like, King of the Ring, when Triple H, Paul Levesque announced, and even now, it's the same thing with Tony Khan. But when they announced the winners, and I sent it to you, I said, here, I sent you that tweet when it got released, and you went, holy shit, you got hyped. And that's what it meant. It meant something again, because now it's like, okay, whoever wins are going to compete for the world titles. And the same thing here. Now everyone's going to be paying attention to the Owen Hart Cup. Mm-hmm. AEW fans, for sure. Now it's not just like you might just go, okay, they win, who cares? Move on. No, now holy crap, MJF just won the Owen Hart Cup. He's going for the world title now. Whatever, whomever, it's going to mean something. So in regards of copy, I agree. I think you're right. I think you're right on. I think, and who knows, maybe Tony and company thought, hey, this is what we should do. We'll announce it at Double or Nothing. And then Triple H thought about it not too long, like maybe right after that. And he's sitting in his office in Connecticut, and he goes, we're going to make this, maybe Tony had it first, but he just didn't announce it first. Right. The early bird eats the worm. So I think it's fine. I think it's great. I think that will make that tournament mean something. If you do that and you're like, hey, every year we're going to do that, the winner of the cup gets a world title shot. People are going to care about that. So
here's the problem though. And this has come up with multiple content creators, and because it's a trend in AEW. It's usually, let's say it's a tournament of 8 people. It's usually one person that can win it and 7 people that have 0 shot. It'd be like Will Ospreay, and then you throw in Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, the Cassidys, one of the person from Top Flight.
Yeah, you gotta have a believable.
But Tony doesn't do that. Like the Battle Royal Casino, whatever, for the ring, the diamond ring. Every year they have that. If you don't know what that is, they do it every year for a diamond ring. MJF's won it every year, but it's always MJF and scrubs. Tony Khan is afraid to pin people. At the beginning of AEW, Adam Page could take a pin. People could take a pin because he knows it's a fight aspect. You could lose. But now he's stuck in this Vince era where nobody can afford to lose. Nobody can afford to lose legit on Dynamite. So it has to be megastars in this match. It has to be all your main eventers or in this tournament. Because like King of the Ring, every single person in the King of the Ring, at least on the men's side, you could see winning the tournament. Every single one of them. They didn't throw in a Tozawa or an Otis or somebody who's just doesn't, or the Viking Raider guy, Eric or Ivar, whoever that guy is. But I'm afraid Tony Khan's going to do that. And Bobby, if they do that, would you be upset? Would you, as an outsider, like, I don't really want to watch this? Because I know if you look at the tournament and you see Will Ospreay and a bunch of nobodies, why would you go watch it?
No, because I already know who's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. It's not going to make you want to watch it, or want to be intrigued. And I think that's very important, is the intrigue. Who's going to do it? You see Will Ospreay, but if you, maybe, I don't know, who's the next guy you could throw in there? Moxley or
Bryan Danielson, Okada.
Then now we're intrigued, because first off, you're going to see some great matches, Okada and Ospreay, or Danielson Ospreay Part 2 and whatever. You want to watch that. you're intrigued by just that alone. But now you're intrigued, like, wait, maybe Okada could do this, because Okada, again, I always love when, especially for someone who doesn't watch religiously or really is starting to, when a guy gets your attention, you're not even paying attention. And Okada's one of those guys. Shut up, like that is hilarious. I'm like, dude, I'm intrigued by this guy. He's what's making that Young Bucks interesting right now. That story, I like him. I'm intrigued by him.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? I know what he can do in the ring. I'm aware of what he can do.
Yeah,
he's damn good. He's great, but I love his character. I love what he's doing, and that's the thing that just drives me crazy. It's like, you got guys that can do that. You got guys who could push and make you hate or make you love and make you whatever. It's just more about, okay, give me an A+ match for 30 minutes or 25 minutes, 18 minutes, but don't talk too much or don't build a story. Let's just throw it out there. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a story. I want to get a little bit into Raw. We'll get a little bit into SmackDown, and then we'll get into NXT. But I want to touch on, and when we talk about Raw, we'll talk about Becky. But Uncle Howdy, again, week after week, we continue to see some teases on Uncle Howdy. You have the glitches. It happened on SmackDown yesterday at the beginning of the show. You had WWE 2K. You open up WWE 2K, there's a barcode. Click it up. Another glitch and another puzzle to the story, puzzle piece. What are your thoughts on how they're building this? How are they handling this so far? Because I'll tell you, for me, it's dragging out. That's my personal thing. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I know Bo Dallas is a great talent. I love that they're continuing to live on Bray Wyatt's story. I think it could continue because of what type of character he was. I am intrigued to see how it goes, but to me, it's dragging out a little too much. I want to see some physical appearances, not by Uncle Howdy, not but maybe like whether it's someone in the shadows, or people flipped out. I think it was Monday Night Raw when they thought they saw Alexa Bliss standing back there. There was a quick, and which WWE is getting really freaking good at. WWE, it's like Finding Waldo. You think of the Liv Morgan stuff with Liv coming out of the car of Finn Balor or Liv coming out of a room with Dom, and they don't. It's not like the camera's zooming in on that. Yeah. It's this, they're doing something else. It's you and I talking, and then behind us something's going on. That's what WWE is getting really freaking good at that. I mean, it's just picking up but. So people flipped out with that Liv Morgan. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like, someone's been talking and they're da-da-da, and all of a sudden you see in the back a shadow, and you're like, dude, that's Uncle Howdy, or that's Eric Rowan, or whomever. Am I off topic here? Am I off the cuff? Or do you say, are you with me? What is your thoughts on how they're treating this story so far?
I don't want to be painted as a bad guy here, because I want it to end already. I'm over it. I'm dragging on was the perfect word. I don't know how they're going to portray themselves on TV. If it's going to be that Uncle Howdy with the goofy mask and a paranormal character, I feel like Triple H is above that. I believe that Triple H won't book them as a supernatural like they were doing with the Fiend. I'm hoping, by the way. That's my only thing I'm worrying about with this whole debut. Are they going to be serious? Or are they going to be treated like main eventers or a top heel like what the Wyatts were? Are they going to be portrayed like a top important piece, or are they just going to come in and be just like the Authors of Pain and Karrion Kross, or just like nobodies? And we're Bobby, I have so many questions. Is it going to be Alexa Bliss? Is it going to be
Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, right? Those are the rumored names out there. Yeah.
Like, I'm just curious. That's what I'm waiting for. Like, okay, we know it's coming, but who's it going to be? Who's in this band? Who's in this Wyatt group or this Bo Dallas group? And is it going to be Bo Dallas, or is it going to be a goofy character? Because if I'm telling you right now, Bobby, if it's a goofy character like an Uncle Howdy, I'm done. I'm out. As that's just me though. I didn't like the Broken Hardy stuff. I didn't like the Fiend stuff.
Well, yeah, that's a personal preference. You said that before, that you're not much into those type of characters. I will say for me, go ahead, finish your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, but that being said, but the whole dragging out, they did I did read something somewhere that they put in a date of June 17th. Somewhere in this little, somebody deciphered the date. He's going to debut on June 17th, which is a Monday Night Raw. So that's when it's going to. That's what everyone's saying. I don't know if you've heard the same thing.
I did see June 17th. I will say, and just to follow up on your point, I'm cool with the characters, to a point, but they have to be believable, whether you're paranormal or whatever, it has to be believable. Or make you actually excited to see it, not some goofy stuff, but if you're talking about old Wyatt family, because Wyatt family, even at the beginning, they were kind of paranormal. They were coming up from the swamp, and they still carry that aura when they come out in the ring. And when I think Uncle Howdy could still be that. I think he could be that character. Because if it's Bo Dallas, I'm not, I'm gonna be like, come on, believe. And I know he's not gonna be that Bo Dallas, but now if it's Uncle Howdy and maybe a revamped version of Uncle Howdy, not the mask, maybe hopefully a little more buff, maybe a little more, stuff or whatever you want to call it. I think it could work. Now, if I agree with you, I think that if you, now again, just adding elements of the supernatural, if you want to call it, or whatever, because everybody's going to expect that with a Bray Wyatt tribute type of thing going on. But what's up, Beckett? Thank you for watching. We appreciate you tuning in from Twitch. But if you have that little bit in there, but if you add that Wyatt family, the original, the OG Wyatt family feel to it, that little bit of juice, I think you're to be better off. Because then now it's going to mean something. Maybe they kidnap someone, like they take someone and you don't see them, and all of a sudden now they're a part of that family. They don't show up all the time. They just show up out of nowhere, and you kind of add those little bit of elements. That's going to make it better. That's what's going to make it mean something. Because if they're going to come in and, like you said, they come out and they're into black and whatever, and they're out every week, and they're out in the ring and somebody fights, and don't overdo it. The Fiend was such an opportunity, and I love the idea of the Fiend, and he looks amazing. But the red light in the ring killed it. I couldn't stand it. It could have been so much more. Can't stand the Demon. That. Don't like Finn Balor the Demon. That's a goofy ass thing. When the Fiend put on the mask, I was like, holy crap, dude, that's like a dark and possessed thing, whatever. That's cool. But the Fiend, nah, man. Not the Fiend, Demon.
Wait,
no.
I gotta ask you this: your perception of the Demon versus the Fiend. Do you think the Fiend? Because I never analyzed this with you. Do you think the Fiend was actually just Bray Wyatt, but he puts on a mask so he embodies his character, as in he's still a human?
No, that's
do you
a
think he's
possessed
supernatural?
spirit. I think that's a possessed spirit that that comes out of him.
Okay, so he's not. That's not Bray Wyatt in a mask to you.
No.
That's a possessed spirit.
Okay. That's taking over. Yeah, that character. Yes.
Now, to your point, now that you hate the Demon, so in my perception of the Demon, it's just Finn Balor and body warp. We've talked about this.
Yes.
He's a human with war paint on. He's not supernatural. That's why I love the Demon, because to me, he's just Finn Balor with war paint on, and he's coming there to beat your ass, and he's in there. He's just intimidating you with his war paint. Whereas the supernatural nonsense cartoon stuff with the Fiend, that's what I didn't like about it. I just wanted to make sure. Do you think Demon is actually a demon?
Demon Finn?
Yeah, do you think that's a
demon?
No.
The reason why I don't like him is exactly what you said.
Okay.
Okay. It's Finn Balor 1 week, which again, one of the best in-ring performers, first Universal Champion, can do it all. He's the same, this little, like this, but he's he can do it all. I'm not calling, not disrespectful, whatever.
All right.
But again, comes out, oh crap, that's alone is like, okay, this is gonna be a great match. But no, he gets beat. It's like, you know what? Next week, I'm putting paint on and I'm coming after you. It's like, okay, what's the difference? Now
so many wrestlers have done this.
Now you're crawling and you're sticking your tongue out, and oh crap, you're a spider now. What are you? Oh no, watch out. Oh no, smoke. Oh,
I'm gonna go to the ring and I'm gonna put my head back and I'm gonna do a back stand of like a.
But he's always had that element, like, and then, like, he's like, oh god damn, don't tell me when the Fiend or Bray Wyatt did this whole thing, you go, oh shoot, that would creep me to hell.
I laughed. I would kick him. I would super kick him in the chin.
You kick him in the face. That's what I would have done to the freaking Demon. He would have started crawling like a fucking spider and sticking his tongue out. And pop, kick him right in the face. What the hell are you doing?
Man.
But anyway, that's great, man. Anyway, I think this story has a lot of potential. I am, like I told you, I think it's dragging out, and I think it's killing it. And for me, I
Yeah.
really like, again, if I like the teases, but it's like, come on, dude, I'm putting on 2K now. I gotta click my phone to see what this is. It's not that big a deal. It's not like Bray Wyatt's coming back. You know,
No.
if you're telling me Bray Wyatt's gonna show back up, God bless or whatever, that's a different story. But we know this is Bo Dallas, and I'm very intrigued to see what. Hopefully, it's not the same Uncle Howdy, and hopefully, when they do it, it's an impact. It has to have an impact. Can't be dead crowd. It has to be something cool. I.e., Undertaker. Something when Undertaker came out, it meant something. I'm not saying they're going to be Undertaker. I'm just saying it has to mean something. Has to make it cool. Or the demon. All of a sudden you hear the music and it's the demon in the red cloud and everybody starts, and it's like, okay, it means something because it's not all the time. And it's it's an impact. That's the type of impact they need to make it, and they have to make it into believable.
Yep. I agree.
All right. So we got something out of that with the Fiend and the demon Ben Balor. So very quick with Raw. Good show, enjoyable show. It looks like that WWE they've acknowledged that the shoulder was up for Randy Orton. Gunther has not put on the crown. I think Gunther versus Randy Orton's going to happen again. I don't know if they've announced that. I think it was teased. We do know Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre is going to go down at Clash of the Castle. I love that. I don't know if you saw this, but they announced Damian Priest versus I don't know who was it that they put him on, another Raw star. It was Damian Priest for something the night after Clash at
Oh,
the
really?
Castle. Yeah, something like that for the world title. And Drew McIntyre tweeted like, the yeah, I just
Hey,
love that.
card subject to change, man.
That's right. That's right. But I just thought it was so.
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre is he
he's
just
the
put himself on
greatest.
a whole other level, dude. Like
Yes.
I just see he's amazing. But the main story for Raw was the rematch: Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch in the cage. And we all knew the contract situation. We obviously had an idea. We obviously knew where this where this was going, and it did. Liv Morgan beats Becky Lynch. She teases throughout the show that she might have to make a change, and she leaves and she says the story is to be continued. That's what she did on Twitter. Of course, it ended in questionable fashion again. Dom shows up where it looks like Becky's about to pull it off. I thought it was a fun match. I liked it. I thought it was okay. I thought they did a good job, both Becky and Liv. Liv really showing she can hang, which is cool. She's a great character, but she shows
Yep.
she can hang. And Becky is Becky. Love her or hate her, she's one of the best. So they had a good match. But it looks like she's about to come out, and of course, here comes Dom. He's saying, "Come on, I got the door open for you. Come on!" And all of a sudden, here comes Finn and JD, and what the hell are you doing? And then here comes Braun again. I know real life badass can probably kick anybody's, but it's like again, I see him coming out. I'm like, it's not the same anymore. You got to redo something, dude. You got to do something to make you feel important. Because to me, I do not jump when you come out. I used to. Oh, here comes. When you hear that scream, it's the monster in my man. Don't do it anymore. But anyway, he comes out, runs around the ring, smashes into the door, or smashes Dom. Dom smashes into the door, hits Becky, crawls out of the cage. Liv retains the title. The story was Raw ended with Liv and Dom looking at each other. I told my daughter, "Uh-oh." She was, "What?" I had an idea what was about to go down, but no one saw it. Later that night, or later, maybe not an hour or whatever, WWE releases the footage of after Raw, and it's Liv Morgan kisses Dom. My daughter almost threw up. I showed it to her. I was like, I told you. I said it was about to go down. But again, she's like, why did he not push away? Good catch, kid. So anyway, quick thoughts on Monday Night Raw and that main event and how it ended.
Don't you miss being a kid?
Yeah.
And just like having no idea of what's all, because we already know, because we watched wrestling for 25, 30, whatever years. Kids are just so, like my son too, same thing. Like who's gonna win or this and that, and because they have no idea. Man, the innocence. But anyway, I think this is seriously, like that's so cool to
Yeah.
like not know what's gonna happen. I wish I knew that. I wish I was ignorant. Not ignorant. Well, no. I wish I was jaded still. Is that a good word, Bobby?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that's what we're looking for. I want to feel like I don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
You
Anyway,
know,
so this situation, I don't know what's gonna happen. We know that Liv's gonna join Judgment Day. We know that. But is it going to be a situation where Judgment Day kind of morphs because Carlito's involved now and he doesn't really feel like a good fit for Judgment Day at all? It's kind of weird. Priest is probably on his way out. Does Judgment Day stay together, or is it just going to be a thing where we get Liv and Dom separated from Judgment Day, where there's no Judgment Day, and then when Rhea comes back, that's when everything goes down. Here's how I want this to end, and I've said this on other shows, and I've said this on Twitter as well. The biggest thing we're going to get out of this entire angle is when Rhea puts the finisher on Dom. It's not going to be winning the title back from Liv. It's when she riptides Dom in the middle of that ring, wherever they wrestle. And it's going to be a situation where it's Liv versus Rhea. And then Dom's like, no, mommy, I'm with you, mommy, blah, 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 blah. She grabs him, riptide. The crowd will go nuts because Rhea Ripley not only is getting her revenge on Liv, but she got some on Dom finally. And Dom's going to be the ultimate heel here. That's his role. His role is to get as much booze and heat as possible to make mommy look so good. People are overlooking this. It's not about, she's going to get back at Liv. She's going to get back at Dom. And that's going to be where the money is. I can't wait.
I think you're right on. I've said this to Audrey, that I believe what's going to end up going down is that, and I think we said this last week, Damian Priest and Rhea are both going to exit the Judgment Day. Rhea does not need the Judgment Day anymore, and Judgment Day needs to continue being a heel faction. Dom, Liv, JD, Finn, and whomever, whether it's Carlito, which again, I agree with you. I don't think he fits. I don't know what they're doing with him. I hate that for him because I think he's a great talent, mic, ring, and everything. So, watch it from the store or from the car, Tot. Got my wife there in the chat. She's out grocery shopping. The room is still a mess, at least our bed. So just warning you when you come in, I don't want to hear anything. What the hell? But anyway, but again, I think Rhea Ripley doesn't need the Judgment Day, and I think she is on her way out. And I agree with you. I believe that I think the ultimate payoff will be her, Dom, like you said, Dom saying, I love you, I'm with you, you're mommy. And she does her move, and then it's like the crowd is gonna pop, and then Liv and Dom and Dom continues to be a heel because Dom, I never want to see Dom become a face. It's very I don't think he can ever be a good guy. I just can't, unless it's saving his dad. His dad's getting jumped and something, and all of a sudden Dom comes right. Then that could be the ultimate payoff for in regards to a face. Other than that, he stays a heel because that's the ultimate payoff. He's an amazing heel. What's up, Justin? Justin in the house. Howdy. Wanted to drop by and support the stream. There you go. Yeah, Rhea needs to be full baby face. Yeah.
That's the thing. She was full baby face. People
she was, but she was a part of the Judgment Day. They need to break that up. And I think that's where they were leaning towards. But now you have the ultimate payoff. Now you're kind of teasing this little thing now that Rhea's gone. Liv is kind of sneaking her way in and pushing through. It's perfect. Let's see here. So SmackDown. Quickly. And then we're gonna get to NXT.
All right.
SmackDown. You got it.
No, SmackDown's fresh in my head. I just watched it.
Oh, good. Okay, I just want to make sure. Sorry. All right, so we know AJ Styles started off the show with a tease, and again, what I liked about that was I saw some people mention Mark Henry, their thing, and I think we all knew that could be the case. But what I loved about it was that we just saw what happened with NXT, that now you got this little partnership with WWE and TNA, and they're saying, hey, don't be surprised. We got there could be more stuff going down. So I stayed watching, or I continued watching because I knew, or I didn't really know, even though I knew kind of where it might go, I didn't know if it was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to TNA to take the title or something like that. It was, of course, we're finished with Cody and whatnot. Before we get into the finale and your thoughts on AJ Styles and possibly getting Cody versus AJ 2, Bloodline, Paul Heyman. First of all, I don't think this ever needs to really be said, but I'm going to say it anyway. Absolutely, Mark Henry approved. It was great. It was a great. Wait, just to get into the AJ Styles thing, it was a great reactor. I mean, again, and I talk about Cody Rhodes, and I think you and I hit on this. it's kind of like cringe a little bit. It's like, okay, dude, he's like, oh, then just to see him get close on you, kind of like, yeah, take it, enjoy that.
Yep.
Anyway, it's kind of crazy how everybody we love Cody, and now we're like, okay, we're done with it. But let's just start with that. Your thoughts on AJ Styles, how it ended. I think were you expecting the way it was going to go down, and did you like the way they pulled it off?
Yeah, just because you know the end of the story doesn't mean it's a bad story. I think we've said that multiple times on the show. Yeah, of course I knew. We all knew. I think we all knew what was going to say. Of course, you could throw in the monkey wrench of going for the TNA, this and that, but no. He was dressed up in a suit. He asked for time. He's this very non-believable actor to me, but I didn't care because I still wanted to see this. I wanted to see Cody get his ass beat at the end of SmackDown. That's what I was waiting for because I love AJ Styles so much. I am so upset that this was delayed because the Saudis requested Logan Paul in the main event. Because this was the story. They had AJ Styles versus Cody, won. Then they had to do what they always do for Saudi, is take a detour and put whatever person in there. So that delayed this story. Now we're picking it back up. So good on Triple H for picking it back up. Kind of sucks that we had to wait an extra month, but it's okay. It would have made more sense if it was sooner. But I digress. Still phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal, what a move from the steps to the floor. The Styles Clash, that was wicked. I would never take that spot. I mean, I wouldn't take any of those spots. But man, that was like, just imagine laying or hanging upside down and you have no control of what you're about to do. Because you're not even jumping. You're in the mercy of AJ Styles. Holy crap, what a spot that was. That was great.
That's the thing, though. You're at the mercy of AJ Styles, but again, you're in the hands of AJ Styles. Yep. That's the type of guy AJ Styles is. That's the type of performer that he is. You could trust him, and Cody does. And it was a great finish, and it's believable. And damn well you're going to get an unbelievable clash between these two guys when it comes up. It's despite how you feel about Cody as a champion. Got a freaking popcorn canal stuck, it's kind of like here, so it's going to start to cough, but yeah. That's my mistake. That's my fault for stealing some of my daughter's popcorn before I came to do the show. I don't know where it was before, but I love what is happening with Heyman. He is trapped and does not know what to do. Justin Toner. Again, thank you for watching, Justin. No, you're right. And again, I don't think it's out of place, and I don't think it's really necessary because everyone knows to praise Paul Heyman, but my goodness, again, you don't know if he is BSing. You don't know if he's truly scared. He plays a great scared guy. He acts like, he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Who's we? I love that he said it. You said we. Who's we? Because it's not Roman. That's what that's what he's telling Solo. Like, you keep saying we. Who's we? I love that little bit of a plug there when they're talking backstage. And then he goes in the ring and he has that promo with Kevin Owens. And he's pleading, and which he's done before. And he's pleading. He's like, dude, you need to stop. You need to end this. Can't do it. They're gonna hurt you. I'm begging you. I know your kids. Mine. Let's drop the charade. Work with me. And Kevin Owens calls him out, dude. I've seen this before. You've done this before. You latched on to Brock. You've latched on to Roman. Now you're good like latching on to Solo. You're just and Paul Heyman was so damn believable when he got pissed. And he's like, I'm the Hall of Famer. I'm the wise man. Why the hell is no one listening to me? Solo's not listening to me. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He screams. And of course, they have the Judgment Day, not Judgment Day, Bloodline shows up. Tonga, and whatever. The Tongas come out with Solo. Solo goes, go get him, and stands there and goes, yeah, I'm like, Solo, dude. But anyway, the other thing, then they have a tag match, which was fun. It was all right. Match was all right. But this storyline, Paul Heyman keeps it intriguing. Because if Paul Heyman was not in there he was gone with Roman, I don't think I would care too much about what was going on with the bloodline. It would be the second nature. Paul Heyman makes it interesting because, again, he's like, Solo says, I talked to Roman. He's like, whoa, wait, you talked to Roman? That was a couple weeks back. Now again, the we thing. Who's we? Why do you keep saying we? Because he goes, dude, we should be focused. Paul Heyman's like, we need to be focused on Cody, because when Cody comes back, when Roman comes back, Cody has to be ready to go. And he goes, we have Cody where we want him. And he's like, who the hell's we? I think I have an idea who we is. Talked about it a little while ago, a couple episodes ago, where we think this storyline could go. But yeah, man, your thoughts though on Paul Heyman and Bloodline and how that kind of went this yesterday.
Yeah. So good segment overall. I love how Paul Heyman was basically asking Kevin Owens for, hey, stay away. These guys are dangerous. They're thugs. My question to you, which you can get to
He
after
did
I
say
finish.
thugs.
Yeah, he said
He did
thugs
call them
multiple
thugs
times.
for sure.
Yeah, multiple times. They told him, Paul, go handle this. Because when they were talking in the back, who's we? They talk in the back, and all of a sudden we hear Kevin Owens music. They look at the monitor and they see Kevin Owens is coming out. Solo goes, go handle that. So we know Solo's going to be watching what he's saying, watching what he's doing to handle this. He's out there berating the Bloodline, calling them thugs. They're crazy. Help me. Help me. That's pretty much what he's saying. Like, help yourself. These guys don't know what they're doing. They're unhinged. If I know Triple H and his writing, that's not going to be okay with Solo. You can't just call his guys thugs and get away with it. Now, is there going to be bad news for Paul E coming up? Because in my mind, if I had a wise man, if I had a guy, I go, yo, hey Bobby, you're my wise man. Go handle something for me. And then I catch you talking shit about me and calling my guys thugs, like my guys that I recruited, there'd be a problem between me and you. So is there going to be a problem between Solo and Paul now? I know there already is one. Solo already doesn't trust him and wants him out. There already is that wedge, but is this going to grow even more? Are we going to see physicality between Paul E in this bloodline because he called them thugs? That's not nice. You don't say that about people. That's what the whole time
that raised my eyebrows. When he said they're thugs, I was like, whoa, wait a second, dude. So, dude, it's that's the difference. You see what I'm saying? They were going, whoa, wait, what's going to happen now? Because he did throw that out there. They didn't think about it. They didn't react to it. They didn't show any reaction. But next week, they're going to be standing in that middle of the ring. They're going to look at him when that's being replayed or something. Something's going to go down. Does Paul get saved? Who saves Paul?
Dude, they're making Paul E a sympathetic babyface. They're doing it right now.
Setting up the anti-hero. I hope it's an anti-hero, but the face return of Roman Reigns.
Yep. It's going to happen.
It's going to be the face return of Roman Reigns. I loved it, dude. It was a good finish. Anything else from SmackDown catch your eye at all?
The LA Knight stuff with just his promo backstage, him meeting with the GM back there, asking like, where's Logan Paul? That was good. Looks like we're getting that match coming up pretty soon. The Bayley stuff, at least they're trying to make her feel important. But putting her in there with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, whatever. Looks like that's going to be Nia Jax. Did you like the Nia Jax stuff? Can't stand her. Still can't stand her.
Honestly, I do. I thought that I was trying to find a reason not to be honest with you. I was trying to find a reason not to like it. But when you hear the crowd boo her the way they do, and the way she I like that when they were beating the out of Bayley. When Bayley was coming out and saying, I'm in your ring, I'm going to your ring, I like that. And then she gets beat by Piper and Nevin and whatever, and she just stands there and she's watching them. She's not even moving, and she's not attacking Bayley. She's just watching. And then, Piper gets in her face and whatever, they get in their face, and she's not moving for them either. She's staring at them. She leaves. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked that, especially with her little promo that she was cutting there. They are making her what she should be, which is intimidating, especially for the women's division, her size, her demeanor. I think, again, I always thought it was a missed opportunity with with Bloodline that they did include some of their other cousins that were there. I think Nia would have been a huge push if she was connected with them. But to put her in this role now, and now as the queen, Nia, and which is kind of funny because you got, Charlotte eventually around the corner, but you got Queen Nia and the way she's carrying herself. I actually liked it. I did like the way they presented her. I like the way they're making her someone who's not this goofy character. They're making her something legitimate, and I'm intrigued by it. I think this, and I'll tell you what. You know what? I know, you were saying this was a bathroom break type of thing or whatever when she was wrestling. This is her best work. They got her rolling here, and again, I don't see her as someone who's going to be on top of the division or, she's going to be this thing that's but now she's becoming a character in a part of the roster where it's like you could actually put her in some decent matches and care about the match. She's just not some random person you're going to throw in there and get RKO'd in the Royal Rumble and, you just throw it in. She's become an interesting character. I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Good. I'm glad that some people like it. I hope one day I do like it. I really do, because I like to like everything on the show. It's just when she's on the show, it's to me, what else is on TV? I can't stand her demeanor or her voice, or she has go away heat like Vicky Guerrero used to have. Like, oh God, just go away. We're not booing you because we like your character and we want to boo you. We're booing you because we just don't want to see you anymore. We're done with it. That's just the way I feel. But I know, like Justin said in the chat, and like you just said, people are saying it's her best work, and it is. And it is what it is. Like, that's all I'll say. I don't want to be negative. I don't want you getting text, Bobby.
I was gonna tell you.
Hey! Did they come back to you? They go, man, that Josh guy really turned it around. You really turned babyface that last show.
No, I didn't get.
Of course,
you still got work to do, bro. You still got work to do.
Hey, one day at a time, maybe.
That's right, bro. That's right.
But yeah, that was SmackDown in a nutshell. It was the AJ style stuff, and the Nia stuff, and of course Bloodline. At least that we knew what was going on.
And that's right, Justin. Justin and Josh Mabry, host of the Ruckus Wrestling Show podcast. They're going to be talking about that as well. And let's get into that. Well, we're about NXT. Jordynne Grace. You're going to talk to me about Ethan Page, but let's get into Jordynne Grace very quick. She shows up, surprises, shocks the world. She's going to compete for the NXT Women's Championship against Roxanne Perez. Jordynne Grace, this is not her first time in WWE. She showed up for the Royal Rumble, did a great job. They got her back. She's going to compete for the title. I think that's really cool. I think Shawn Michaels, Triple H are cooking, which is crazy to think. And you brought up the Forbidden Door. Obviously, AEW was like, hey, we were the first one. They were the first ones to say we're not going to be afraid to work with other companies. And I think WWE, with its story, with its aura, with everything, can really benefit from doing stuff like that. And TNA is kind of like they need that extra push because they're trying to reinvent themselves. And this would be really, or not reinvent them, but they kind of get them back to where they used to kind of be. They were AEW before AEW. So I'm very excited about the Jordynne Grace thing, just alone on the potential of what this could mean. And I think as well what it could mean in regards of who else could show up. I love that Drew McIntyre right away posted a picture of himself winning the TNA title. And Moose was like, dude, remember last time you did who won that title for me, and showed a picture of him on the floor with Moose winning the title and said, we could have the same result. I think he said something about him being unhinged then, and he's the one who started that. You think of AJ Styles, you think of Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis, I believe, was Maximus something. I forgot his name. But back in TNA, there's a lot of Mickie James, Nick Aldis' wife. She could be back on WWE TV soon. So I'm excited that they're doing this. I think it's really cool. I hope they kind of have more back and forth because I think WWE in TNA will be bigger for TNA than TNA in WWE. Like AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, whomever, guys that you're like, hey, dude, you know what? This guy is really good. We don't have a role for him here. Let's surprise TNA fans. Let's get WWE fans to watch TNA. Let's help you. You scratch our back, we scratch yours. Not saying Jey Uso is bigger than TNA, but imagine Jey Uso on TNA TV challenging for the TNA title. That's what people want. People are going to want to tune into that. So I'm very excited about that. I thought it was really cool. Again, anything that could make you go, I want to see what the hell just happened. Something that you don't usually watch, and then all of a sudden you're watching it because something went down. That's big. What was your reaction when you saw that come through? I don't know if you watch NXT Live, but when you saw that come through, what did you think?
I don't watch NXT period. Ever since they changed to the 2.0, that's just a preference thing. I'm not trashing it right now.
No, I get
every time I do tune in to NXT, they're fine. It is what it is. I do like the fact that they are playing ball with other companies. How cool would it be if everyone was just cool with everybody, and we could have this? Bobby, you brought it up, the Intercontinental title or a traveling title, something that you can just defend anywhere. How cool would that be? I'm down for it. I don't personally watch TNA. I don't really know much of Jordynne Grace. Don't really know much of anyone over there. I knew of Trinity when Trinity Fatu would wrestle over there. I would watch Trinity matches. Naomi. I used to watch it back in the day with AJ Styles and Joe, and when they signed Jeff Hardy and when they signed Kurt Angle. Like I was a big TNA fan, but honestly, I haven't watched it in years, so I don't have any clue who could put on a good match. And now this is my point. I will now because I will tune in.
Yep.
Because I love invasion angles. I love when, even Forbidden Door, I cannot stand New Japan. It's awful to me. But when a guy comes in, I'm like, oh, who's that? Oh, I got to go on YouTube real quick and look this guy up. So you're telling me this guy Moose is over there, it was a champion. I don't know who Moose is. I got to go look up Moose now. Is Moose good? Last time I saw Moose, and the only time I saw Moose, he was on Botchamania versus Dolph Ziggler, and they had a bajillion botches. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I am intrigued now. Now I do want to go check out what's going on over there because they have guys like Ziggler. They have guys that I would like to go and watch, but where can I find it? That's the problem, Bobby. What channel is it on? What time slot? Do I have to go search this out on the internet? I'm not doing any of that stuff. I can't watch a wrestling promotion if it's not readily available for me to watch in the United States. That's just who I am.
So let's get to this Ethan Page. Enlighten me on who Ethan Page is. Should he make me want to watch him on NXT?
Man, it's so weird they're throwing him right against Trick right away because he was a jobber in AEW. He was good. He was a good jobber. I thought he had a lot of potential. Good on the mic, decent size on him. He was bigger than the majority of the people in AEW. But he got stuck in this mid card role with Matt Hardy, and they were wrestling on Rampage or on Dark at the time, and it was just nonsense. He's got a charisma. He's good on the mic. He knows how to work. He's safe. He's not one of these trampoline cowboys or one of these backyard wrestlers. I'm intrigued now to watch NXT because guess what? I've always liked Ethan Page, but he just never got TV time. He was never portrayed as a winner. So I'm actually ready for this. And you should be ready for it too, Bob, because again, you're seeing new talent coming in from other companies making an impact right away. We're seeing it with Jade. We're gonna see it with Ethan Page. I don't know if we're seeing it with the one dude, Vanilla Sky or whatever his name is. Help me out, Justin Toner in the chat. Who's the guy? Who's Brian Pillman that came over? What's his name now? Red Velvet or something? Do we know who we're talking about?
Yeah, I know Brian Pillman's son. Yeah, he's in NXT now, right?
What's his name now? Is he doing anything? Is he doing anything?
Is it Swinging Steve or something like that?
I don't know his name. I have no idea.
Brian Pillman Jr. Let me see. Swinging Steve. I know that's not the name.
But yes, to my point, and Justin's point, Ethan Page is a good wrestler. Just was poorly used. Alexis King. Yeah, Sean Spears also NXT. And this is a big thing, and this is just a random thing. Look at Jade going from AEW to WWE. She's exactly the same person. She's Jade Cargill, same music, same gimmick. A storm is coming. I'm that bitch, whatever she wants to say. You go look at all ego Ethan Page, the same gimmick coming over. Look at Cody Rhodes from AEW. This wasn't the Cody Rhodes we had in WWE at all. Nobody in WWE knew this Cody Rhodes. It's coming from his indies and his ROH and his AEW days. So many wrestlers, Tony Khan's allowing them to take their character. And I'm not knocking Tony for this. It's a wonderful thing. You should be able, as a professional wrestler and a person who is a independent contractor, should keep your gimmick and go wherever you want to go once your contract is up. If you're a contractor and working for the air conditioning company or whatever, you don't have to go change your name every time you go work for another air conditioning company. It's not how it works. I love this. I love that they're able to go from AEW because Tony Khan doesn't hold their names under contract and they can go do other things. It's fucking awesome. That's all I gotta say about that. I don't know why they changed Lexis King's name. I don't get that, but they did.
Yeah, I think I would have been better with it being Brian Pillman Jr. But Sorry, there's something popping on my thing. I'm trying to get this out of my way. But I think Brian Pillman Jr. I think it might be a personal choice. I think he wanted to change his name, and which is fair. But I agree with you too. I think I don't think it's more on Tony Khan that they keep coming with their stuff. I think it's more it's like, hey, this is your character, you built him, he's yours, go.
The thing is about like all Ethan Ego Page. If people have said this name, like people have heard of Ethan Page. If you've watched wrestling for the past 5 years, you've heard of him because it's not like he's just a jobber on AEW. Like he had a role, he played it well. So when you say, "Oh my gosh, that's all ego Ethan Page in NXT," the people that used to watch AEW or the people that watch AEW who liked him and never thought he had a shot, guess what? Like me, I'll go watch NXT now because that's the guy I wanted to see succeed. And now he will have the chance to succeed somewhere in NXT. It's awesome. I can't wait.
Absolutely. But man, anywho, let's see here. Becky Lynch. Wrap this up with Becky, man. She's a free agent. She had stated before, when they asked her, AEW, she said, it's WWE. I'm retiring WWE, blah, 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 blah. But now it's official. She's a free agent. She, they're saying that she wants to take some time away, probably spend time with her daughter, but her daughter traveled with them. I think their daughter traveled with Seth Rollins being her husband. But, obviously nothing compares to being at home, with your kid, and she deserves it. Same thing with Seth. They are working champions. They're working. They've been to everything. They've done everything. They're marathon workers. Again, love or hate either one of them. Got to respect what they do character-wise in the ring. At one point, Becky was bigger than wrestling at one point, hopefully she reinvents herself when she comes back, maybe still carrying a little bit of that because that's what made her, but also kind of doing something. But I think this would be great for her. I think it'd be great for her character. I think it's gonna be good mentally, obviously, as well. But do you have any inkling in your body that makes you go, man, I think there's an actual chance she could jump to AEW eventually? Or you're like, no, dude, she's WWE through and through.
If Seth didn't re-sign and we knew he didn't re-sign recently, I would go, there's a chance. Because we've seen players, and we don't know Becky. None of us know Becky. But we've seen NFL players, NBA players, baseball players take more money to go be on a miserable team because they just want to go make money.
That's fair.
We've seen that. Now, Tony Khan can pay her more money than WWE. We know this for a fact. He's done it with Mercedes. He's done it with Will Ospreay. We've heard the Okada numbers. We heard Riho recently herself say she made $400,000 a year. Riho, who doesn't wrestle, who sucks, who's never on TV. Tony still's paying her $400,000. She said this. This isn't rumors. So we don't know if it's true or not, but that's what came out of her mouth. So why not go make more money? What's it gonna hurt? Why wouldn't you? Let me ask you guys this. I don't care if I work for a company, an insurance company. If another insurance company says, "Hey, Josh, I'm going to pay you X amount of money more to go do the same job, but you're going to go work here." But we're not as big as the company you're working for now. We're a little bit smaller. I'm going to still go, yeah, if you could pay me more, I'm going to go work there. Why wouldn't you, Bobby? Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she at least listen to this? Why wouldn't Seth go, hey, why don't you go listen? It's less, hold on, as a mother, it's less of a travel, right? You only have to work once a week. They get extended time off. They're able to go home. Like Will Ospreay goes freaking back home all the time, right? Adam Copeland even said the schedule's easier. They don't have house shows. They're not always on the road. Why wouldn't she, as a mother, do this? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think it's going to happen. I say 0% chance.
Yeah, you're saying basically like when I say something like I say to anybody who's exploring, getting a new job or something. I use my wife an example when she goes and when she was at a job for 8 years, 9 years, and was scared about, or even before then, even when we were in Florida, comfortable, and she was exploring opportunities, and she got a great opportunity, which was end up being up here. And he was like, "But you got to move. You got to go to Tennessee out of Florida. You got to do this." And I told her, my thing always is go until you have to say no. Don't reject the interview. Go to the interview. Talk to them. See what they're going to offer you. Let's go check out the town. Let's go see what it's like. Maybe we say, you know what, we could do this, and it ends up being a better thing. I get that. I don't think I don't think I don't think you're out of the realm that she could or should explore the possibility of going to another place like an AEW just to see, because you again, if she knowing her as a student, as a game someone who loves professional wrestling, she may want to do like, hey, let me go here just to wrestle some other people, and then I could pop myself back into WWE because I love it there and they love me. Uh, you know, if TK makes an offer, she'll probably listen and use it to get more from WWE. Yeah, that's what Edge did. That's what Adam Copeland did before he went back to WWE the
Randy
first
Orton.
time. Orton did it. It doesn't hurt to listen. You say, hey, they called me. They offered me this, because when Edge, and I'm saying Edge, we all know I'm talking about Adam Copeland, but when Edge was first thinking about coming back out of retirement, AEW was the one that reached out and they were like, hey, dude, we would love to have you come. And he had to go. Of course, he went to Vince because he thought he owed it to Vince, which that's fair. And Vince said, hell no, if you're coming back, you got to come back here. I'll give you the money, and he did. So it is true. Becky could do that. Or Becky could go, if Becky says, you know what, let me just take a break. My body's beat. Let me take a little bit of a break, maybe half a year or a few months or whatever. Obviously she could do that and just return right back to WWE. But you're right. What if they say, you know what? Of course, she could always say, I don't want to do house shows. And I heard Endeavor is wanting to take away house shows anyway. But with this partnership with TNA, what makes us think she doesn't say, hey, you know what? I could do TNA for a year. Let me just do TNA.
Come on.
Hey,
come on.
You think talk about not having to do house shows, and now you're just working out of Orlando or whatever, or Tampa, or whatever the hell you're doing.
Here's what I think.
NXT is another one.
Here's what I think would be an ideal situation for Becky. Let's say she does care about her legacy and being the best and being one of the best of all time. She's already there, right? But there's someone else that's headlined WrestleMania. There's someone that's wrestled in the Tokyo Dome. There's someone that's about to wrestle Forbidden Door. That's Mercedes Moné. She's done it all. I'm not saying we're not going to go on this huge thing. What if she saw what Mercedes did? And goes, you know what? I'm not going to re-sign with WWE. Matter of fact, I'm not going to re-sign until I go wrestle one match in the Tokyo Dome, or I do this, or I do that. Where you don't have to sign contracts. You don't have to sign maybe a one-off appearance. Maybe she does a 3-month program over there. Maybe she does. I'm not saying she will. I'm saying maybe she does. Maybe she's seeing what Mercedes is doing and going, well, I can do that. Well, I can go do that. I'd be a bigger draw than her at the Tokyo Dome. Well, she would be. I believe she would be. It's Becky Lynch, right? We all know her. She's bigger than Mercedes. Sorry, guys. I said it. I know. I said it.
I'm proud of you. Justin, please tell Josh maybe what you just heard. Okay. Let Josh know.
But in my mind, it's not true. But my point is, maybe Becky, we don't know what she wants to do. I think at the end of the day, she will end up back in the WWE because she's comfortable. She's content. That's where Seth is. But man, I also said there's zero Cody Rhodes goes back to WWE. I said that. And I meant it back then. And I was wrong. So who knows? Nobody knows. No, I never thought I would see Adam Copeland in AEW. I never thought that. I never thought I'd see Bryan Danielson in AEW. Never thought that. He was comfortable in WWE. He had a role in creative. He was a made man there in WWE. He was a made man. And he says, you know what? I want to go wrestle in AEW. So we don't know. Maybe they told Becky, hey, we're pushing Tiffy.
True,
we got
never
Jade. We got Bianca. We got all these people on the rise. And maybe she's seeing, maybe they had meetings with her that we don't know about. Hey, Becky, we're going to tone you back this year. We got these other women we're going to push up. And maybe she's the same thing with Adam Copeland. Well, if you're not going to do something with me here, then maybe I'll go do something somewhere else. We don't know the conversations they're having, but how many more WrestleManias can she headline? How many more SummerSlams can she do? How many more Royal Rumbles can she win? It's the same, you know what I mean? We have to push more women now and get these women on top.
The biggest draw, the only way I could see Becky headlining a WrestleMania, which again, title or not on the line, there's a chance she could headline a WrestleMania coming back and whatever, is again the fatal 4-way of the 4 horsewomen. Once if Mercedes Moné, and which she will, she's got to come back to WWE, and then that's the chance you got to do it. Got to figure out a way to make that story work. Charlotte versus Becky versus Mercedes versus Bayley, fatal 4-way, whether it's the World Championship on the line or that could main event a WrestleMania. and they will blow the roof off the place. Those 4 women. I think that's the chance. I don't know. I agree. Never say never. Never say never. I just think I don't really believe she jumped to AEW. I think she sees WWE as family. She loves it there, the connection she has there, and the pool. She does have pool there. She's one of Triple H's girls. She's one of Triple H's people, just like Seth is, and I think you might be maybe not signing a contract with AEW, but maybe saying, hey, I could take a one-off in Japan and do something there. And I could see that going down. And, as Rebecca Quinn, the man.
That's
Rebecca,
how it happened. Hey, that's what happened with Jericho.
Yeah. Becky Quinn or whatever she wants to call herself, but
Jericho said he would never wrestle anywhere else. Jericho said he would never wrestle anywhere else. He did say
that. You're right. You're absolutely. He did say that.
And then he took one trip. He took one trip over to Japan and did a little program with Kenny Omega and all those guys over there. And then guess what? He never went back to WWE.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. There you go. Well, we'll see what goes down. But other than that, man, any final thoughts before we wrap this up for tonight?
Great week of wrestling, honestly. Every show was good. Even AEW was good. I can't really say much about NXT, but seeing the highlights of Ethan Page, everything was great. I think, people are saying we're in this stagnant era or this hangover, WrestleMania hangover. That may be true. But guess what? This WrestleMania hangover was prime top stuff in the Vince McMahon era. So we need to appreciate that we still have storytelling and still things that make sense.
Great point, man. That's an awesome
That's all I got to say.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, hey, we appreciate everyone watching. Right now, currently live, we got up to 44 people tuning in, whether you're watching Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, wherever. We appreciate you watching. Again, you can catch us tomorrow. If you're watching us on YouTube now, you catch us tomorrow on Go Live Sportscast on their app. You get that on Roku. And then, of course, I'll be on live tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern here on Finstar Sports Network with East 10th Street Boys, a special edition. So tune in. We'll just talk about life, parenting, growing up Miami, sports, Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, all the above. Join us, get some coffee, sit down, and hang out with us tomorrow morning. Until then, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next Saturday.
It's the Finstar Sports Network, FTSN, talking major sports and even wrestling. Bobby Finstar and his FTSN crew, they're taking deep dives just to entertain you. Talking Dolphins,